And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, the Iowa caucuses are fast approaching, and the GOP frontrunner, Donald Trump, continues to dominate in the polls. Now, according to the Real Clear Politics average, the national average, Donald Trump is maintaining a double-digit lead over his closest opponent, garnering 35% of the vote. And looking to cement that lead, the Trump campaign just released yesterday their first television ad. Take a look.
The politicians can pretend it's something else, but Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
We will make America great again.
And meanwhile, 2016 Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton took a shot at Donald Trump when she revealed her New Year's resolution. Take a look.
I'm interested in your response to the Donald's comment that you and President Obama created ISIS.
I've adopted a New Year's resolution. I'm going to let him live in his alternative reality, and I'm not going to respond.
All right, here to respond is the man himself, 2016 Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, good to see you.
Hello, Sean.
Happy New Year. All right, number one, how long do you think that?
Happy New Year.
How long do you think that New Year's resolution is going to last? And how would you describe your reality versus Hillary Clinton's reality?
Well, her resolution may last for a long time. I don't think she wants to take me on. I know for a fact I'm the last person she wants to run against because I speak the truth. And what I said about ISIS is true. I mean, with her horrible policies and President Obama's horrible policies, essentially ISIS was formed and ISIS was created, and now we have to knock the hell out of them and get rid of them. And we'll do that if the right person comes to office. It's not going to be done until then. So, you know, she made that statement, and look, I was mentioned 9 times in their debate when they had their Democrat debate. And I will tell you that the 9 times, every time, now all of a sudden she doesn't want to mention. So they don't want to take me on. And a recent poll came out where I'm leading her head-to-head. I think I'm the only one that's going to beat her. And frankly, she should be easy to beat. And I think we're going to beat her, and I think we're going to beat her soundly. But right now, as you know, I'm more focused on these other candidates, Republican side, that I'm running against.
Let me stay on Hillary for just a second, then we'll talk about the primary that's ongoing. The whole issue, Hillary was very offended at words you used, and you fought right back, and you called her an enabler, and you said that she abused those women. And I want you to expand into this because it seems to be every election campaign, Democrats always claim that Republicans are racist and sexist, and they even said that about Mitt Romney for having resumes of women that he wanted to hire.
Well, as you know, and it's been well documented, she went after the women very, very strongly and very viciously, according to the women and according to other sources. Major book's been written about it, and it's a book that's a very well-respected book, and it was not a pretty picture what she did. And also, as you know, he was impeached. The president was impeached, and was lying, and he was, you know, he was impeached for lying. His law license was taken away from him, and lots of other things. They paid a massive fine, you know, many hundreds of thousands of dollars. They paid I guess, a fee to one of the women. So look, there's a whole thing. When she talks about me being sexist, I mean, she can't be speaking about that subject, and I don't think she will be anymore. I would hope she doesn't, and I'd rather not speak about it also, but she can't bring it up.
What about the Clinton Foundation? They've taken tons of money from countries like Saudi Arabia. I've Googled and I've checked everywhere I can. I don't see a lot of criticism by Hillary of these countries that have atrocious human rights records, women's rights records, but the Clinton Foundation took a lot of money for them. Should that be an issue in this campaign?
Well, it would really depend. I mean, I've given money to the Clinton Foundation. You know, I was a very, very, very big business person, and I got along with everybody, including the Clintons. And I've given money over the years to the Clinton Foundation, never asked for anything. I will say this, speeches were made by the president. I think he got like $8 million for speeches made with people, you know, and paid for by people that were doing work with the State Department when she was the head of the State Department. It was just in one of the papers that he was paid about $8 million for various groups and companies, and they were doing business directly with the State Department at that time and paid very, very substantially. So these are real problems for them ultimately when it comes to the general election. Maybe even now, but certainly when it comes to the general election, Sean.
I think certainly, and you know, the question would be whether or not they were able to buy her silence with these donations as it relates to the atrocious human rights records. Bill Clinton is now out on the campaign trail, campaigning for his wife, and he sort of sidestepped a question as it relates to you, and I want to play it for you and get your response.
Donald Trump says your path is fair game. I've got to ask you, you're coming up on the trail with him. Is it fair game?
The Republicans have to decide who they want to nominate. I'm trying to nail the Democrats in the country. I think Hillary would be the best president. And I think there's always a temper to take the election away from the people, so I'm just going to give it to them.
I never saw him at a loss for words like that, but what's your reaction?
Well, he doesn't want to get involved with the subject, and I understand that. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to get involved. But this is why I'm going to win the election if I run against her. And, you know, I think it was CNBC did a big report or study, and a couple of them did, where if I run against Hillary, it's going to be the largest voter turnout in the history of our country. And many of those extra people, people that never voted before, are going to be voting for Trump. And, you know, it's always been amazing to me that not that many people vote as a percentage of the people that can vote in our country, where you look at other countries, they have much higher turnouts. They say this turnout, just like your debate. I mean, the Fox debate was the biggest in the history of cable television, like show. And CNN had a debate, you know, right after yours, where 23 million people, you had 24 million people, they had 23, the largest show in the history of CNN. So I would think that if I ran against Hillary, and I don't think they were there for the other people, by the way, because the debates used to get very poor ratings, not to brag or anything, but that's the way it is. If I ran against Hillary, I think it would be the largest voter turnout. Great thing for the country, the largest voter turnout. And I think a lot of people that feel disenfranchised, including Democrats, by the way, will come out and vote for Trump. And a lot of people are saying that. So it'll be a very exciting period of time, that I can tell you. And I think I will beat her pretty easily, I hope.
All right, let's go to the polls. You're winning by a pretty substantial margin nationally against your Republican opponents. A recent poll has you ahead in South Carolina, Nevada. You're winning in 2 polls in New Hampshire. In Iowa, where the caucus is about a month away, that's been a little tighter, where you're either tied with Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz has a lead on you in 1 poll. How important is Iowa to you in terms of going forward in the strategy? How important is winning Iowa to you?
Well, the politically correct answer, I should say, oh, well, I really don't matter.
You don't give politically correct answers.
Second or third, but I don't want to be politically correct. I want to win Iowa. I have a great relationship with the people of Iowa. I'm doing fantastically with the evangelicals. I'm going there on Saturday. I'm going there many, many times over the next few weeks. I mean, I know the people really well. They're incredible people. The relationship is amazing. The Tea Party people, the evangelicals, of which I really feel, you know, that we have a very warm love of each other. I mean, a poll just came out today that I'm winning with evangelicals. And, you know, I think I hope to win Iowa. Now, you talk about the polls, but CNN did the big poll of Iowa, and it's 33-20 that I'm leading. So I don't know. I mean, you know, something could happen, but I would love to be able to win Iowa. And the most recent poll, or the big poll at least, which is the CNN poll, I'm leading by 13 points. I would love to win Iowa. I should say to you that, well, if I do well there, I'm very happy. But I really would like to win it, to be honest with you.
Let me ask about some reports. As a matter of fact, I have comments by Jeb Bush, Mike Huckabee, Chris Christie, Carly Fiorina, Marco Rubio, John Kasich, all attacking you. Not pretty predictable considering you're in the lead. On top of that, you have a political report that says top establishment players say you might inflict lasting damage to the Republican brand, and they are planning to launch an anti-Trump vehicle to pummel you. So in the closing days of this campaign leading into the Iowa caucuses, obviously rhetoric is getting ratcheted up. A lot of money is being spent. Tell us your strategy to combat that.
Well, look, there's a lot of people that, this has never happened before. I don't want any money. I'm self-funding my own campaign. I'm putting up my own money. We're taking ads now, and we're putting a lot of money into them. And, I don't need people's money. So the lobbyists don't want me because they want to give a lot of money so they control the candidate. The special interests don't want me because they want to put up a lot of money, and they are. You look at what's being put in Hillary's, coffers, and Jeb Bush and Marco and all of them. I mean, they're all getting all of this money from these special interest groups and the lobbyists, and they're totally controlled. If they win, they're totally 100% controlled, and they're not working for the country. They're working for the person that gave them the money. So this has been happening, and I mean, I understand why people are not happy that I'm winning, because I'm not a part of the establishment. Now, interestingly, prior to June 16th, when I announced I was running for president, I was a big part of the establishment. I gave $350,000 to the Republican government, the RGA, Republican Governors Association. I gave a lot of money to a lot of different people, and I mean, and I'm talking about a lot of money. I guess I did $350 for the governors, but I did a lot more than that for others, and I was like part of the establishment. Now, since I ran, I'm sort of not part of the establishment, because they're sort of saying, gee, he's not supposed to do that. I'm doing that to straighten out the country, and I'm doing it to make America great again, as per my theme, but make America great again. But I understand how they feel. I'm not part of the establishment.
I think they like your money.